Hello, in this short lecture I will give you several reasons for God's non-existence. The reasons for the non-existence of God are the first reason is God doesn't exist because an all-powerful being would not have created a world that is so imperfect. That is the first reason of non-existence existence of God. The second reason is it makes no sense that God created man to put him through the test of life, because if man sins, then this will be proof of God's imperfection, because God created that man. After all, God knows what will happen in the future and what man will do if he sins or not. Then it turns out that he recreated something that is not perfect. The third reason why God doesn't exist is God has nothing to do but create creatures that he will put to the test. So why to create a human being at all? Why test them at all? Okay. And especially, why does God, who is omnipotent, need human beings to glorify and praise him? A being who is perfect doesn't need the glorification and praise of the creatures he created. Okay? The fourth reason why God doesn't exist is because why would God, who is omnipotent, create evil? Why would God create a world in which there is poverty and hunger, diseases, wars, natural disasters such as earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, etc., and also pain and human suffering and death? So God would have never created such bad things, such things that or such world that has so much bad and evil and sufferings of the human beings. Okay. Other reason why God doesn't exist is why would God create a world where there are predatory and prey animals, and in the very existence of the predatory animal necessarily depends, the predatory animal necessarily depends on the brutal death of the preyed animal. Okay, for example, the lion must eat the lamb or the deer in order to survive. So his survival causes the brutal death of his prey. That might be any other animal that he would eat. Yes. Okay. So it is impossible that God would have created such injustice world. Okay, another reason why God doesn't exist is because logically it is impossible, and I will explain why. can God create a stone that is so big that he himself could not lift it? If he cannot create such a stone, then he is not omnipotent. Okay, and if he can create such a stone that he cannot lift, then there is something he is not able to do, that is to lift the stone that he himself created. And then he is still not omnipotent. That is, a being who is omnipotent cannot logically exist, or in other words, God doesn't exist. And the last reason why God doesn't exist is the very fact that there are three monotheistic religions. Monotheistic is a belief in the existence of one God or in oneness of God. So the very fact that there are three monotheistic religions that contradict each other proves that they are all false, and they are actually a product of human invention. In other words, man created God. Okay, of course, the three religious, monotheistic religious is the Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and they, of course, they contradict each other, and that is the real proof that actually all of them is false, and it is the story that the human being created, and it is not real events. Okay, so we can say that the human being created God, and God doesn't exist at all. Okay, thank you very much.